Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, looking at robot spirits, and this is a newer release, the MS-06F Zaku 2 Gunner type, very anime. This is from the Gundam 0083 manga, so a little bit of Stardust memory, which is always pretty cool because it's not too long after the 1 Year War, so you still get a lot of those cool suits and designs, especially the Zaku variants. And there's actually a few coming out here pretty soon. So yeah, quick look at the thing. Honestly, it's got this gigantic gun cannon thing that won't even fit in the shot. So, it'll show in my other shots, but look at that. Look at how much that adds to the back. That is pretty crazy. But, before we jump into all of that real quick, we can look at the box here. Yeah, the gunner there, another Zaku in the top right. We got a Goku over on the left. Here kind of showing different poses and things you can do with the main accessory, which is that it's got this giant cannon. Another shot there, and then on the back here, just some other shots. Looks cool. I kind of like this ground diorama look. I wonder if that's something they built or that was added in afterwards, but that looks pretty cool. All right, let me strip this guy down and we can take a look at the base. And here we go. Yeah, Zaku 2. What's cool about this is it's no longer a mono eye, or it just has an additional mono eye, because we've got this kind of red, more like tactical zoom finder. I guess I can help on the field targeting the enemies because it's got a giant cannon that probably has a lot of range. And then we've got a green one on here. I guess that's maybe for typical camera sensors that would be on units, although this more matches. I don't know, I'm kind of diving into details that might not matter. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's really cool to get a Zaku 2 head that looks like this. It's different, tactical, it has its own function. But moving down, interesting shoulders here than we typically see on the Zakus, and that has to do with the accessories it comes with, and we'll get into those. On the shoulder here, it has this item here that's part of this, and so this is where you would attach something. But other than that, while that does hinder some movement, you can actually move it out of the way if you actually want to get full movement, now that I'm looking at it. So that's actually pretty neat depending on what you're trying to do. Again, I've learned from looking at the articulation of all these things that there's only so much a robot can do and that you need it to do. So, all right, moving on from that, let's see, we've got the chest here that I don't know if it opens. We'll have to look in the manual to see if there's some stuff about that, or it's just a piece that was added on there. Let's see, we got the elbows, so it has that double joint system, and it also has a swivel, so that's actually pretty neat. It's got a holder for the Sturmfaust. I had one around here somewhere. That we'll look more into that when we get to accessories. And the skirt, so let's see. So it has two pieces, and we look inside, and we do see that it has that extra articulation there for the leg, so you can drop it down if needed. So you can get that longer leg, or back up if needed. Also, if you really wanted the Zaku to sit down because of the skirts and the way it's positioned. Wait a minute, I'm just noticing. Oh, okay, it looked like for a second there, it looked like I was seeing a stand hole attachment slot there, but no, that's really the articulation in the toe along with the effect part thrusters. Knee does the thing it needs to do. And then we got some missiles on there that I just added on by default. So on the other leg, it's got some of these other pieces here, this kind of protective tread style thing, I guess, to be on for when it's firing the cannon. Let's see, back, side skirts, back, kind of typical Zaku, and I have some other Zakus here that we can look at too for comparison. All right, so the articulation is typical Robot Spirits Zaku 2 articulation, very similar to the Gunpla articulation. I guess the one main thing is the waist, which it's very common nowadays to get very limited waists, and we do see it here. It has a little bit of a waist swivel, but not a lot. The tubing is a very interesting material. It feels different, not as rubbery, but it's still soft. So I always find it cool as they do these iterations and how they change up the tubing on here. So yeah, that's actually pretty neat. Okay, and for accessories, there's not too much, even though the point of this is its specific accessory, which is this giant gun. I mean, even if I was to open it up all the way, it's not even gonna fit on camera. That will have to be for another shot that I do. But there's a lot going on with this. You got the attachment points, you've got parts of articulation here. Even this, I don't know what that is yet. I'll figure that out, because with that in there, either that's a fastener or just another, oh, there we go. That comes off and does something. I haven't even really fully looked at it yet. We're about to find out. Yeah, there's something here. Something here that moves. And then along with that is this badass shield. Like, look at this shield. So we've got a Zaku that holds a shield. That's not too common. That's more of a Federation thing, but we've got this Zaku holding this shield, and it's got teeth at the bottom. Clamp that down into the ground to do its firing. I mean, this has that awesome functional look that's really in line with a lot of what comes out of the mobile suits from 08th MS team. And these aren't too far apart timeline-wise, so yeah, pretty neat. Okay, as I mentioned, the two Sturmfaust rocket propelled grenades here, or just grenades in general, that actually have their place, which is pretty neat. To, like, you can fully kit out this with all the accessories, which I always love it when that happens. Except for the hands, which that's the other part here. It comes with a hand tree with all those, you know, different hands that we're used to seeing. We got trigger finger, relaxed, open, and it looks like the different closed types, where one is more, it has more of the finger kind of open and relaxed for like a heat hawk, or usually a beam saber, but maybe that, I mean, there's nothing specific for this one that would use those hands, but it's nice that they're there anyway. All right, let's look at the instruction booklet real quick. See if I learn anything, because I think there's a lot to learn here. So, oh yeah, those hands I was talking about. We see A and B are almost like a fist, but can still hold something. C and D, slight trigger, but not full. Actually, let's move that a little. E and F, which are full trigger fingers. So, okay. Moving down here, anything of note, just kind of showing off the articulation. Oh, it has a really good shoulder sort of forward motion there. The head goes back quite a bit, which is pretty cool. Let's check that out, actually. Oh yeah, there's a lot there, more than we normally see. So you push that down, you push this. It's actually pretty good. That's a lot there. All right, yeah. Putting the accessories, and that is detachable, which is pretty cool. So if you didn't want to have that set up, or you wanted to use it on a different Zaku. All right, and then we get to the missile pod that I have on attached on there. And then this shoulder cannon thing, which I think we're going to get into, but look at what you can eventually set it up as, which is pretty insane. I mean, even the drawing itself of it, they had to like cut out everything you would see because there wouldn't be room. So that's just how crazy this is. All right, as you can see, the cannon, very cool, very awesome. Just how big it is, how it looks, not too bad to put together. All right, now to compare it with some other Zakus, let's get this guy in a good standing position as he's gonna meet his comrades. We've got the standard 0079 Ver Anime Zaku here. See if we can get a decent pose there. All right, and we've got the Kai from War in the Pocket. So let's see. Do I have his? Yeah. So it looked like he was taller because of that dropped waist, which yeah is shared across these. I would say they're very similar in engineering in general. All right, and we got the ground type, JC or something like that. Yeah, from 8th MS team. I'll move that over here real quick. A really badass looking one. It's a little more cartoony, I think, just because of the way it was colored and everything. And there's almost like a purple tint to the gray where the tubing is. And interesting to see the evolution of the color of the tubing, how we have the yellow here, kind of a gray purple. There, we got the green. And then we have these two from Stardust Memories, so kind of the same series, and they're all technically Ver Anime. So some interesting things to note is the skirts are different. Even the legs are different, so there's not the gray right on the top, whereas these two have that. Man, you know what's interesting? Even between these two Zakus, like the gray, the tubing, it's a little different. Nothing bad, just interesting how different it is. So there we have it. That's the Zaku 2 Gunner type Ver Anime from Gundam 0083. Actually, Phantom Bullets. Very cool looking Zaku. And you know, the main draw here is the accessories, the giant gun it comes with. You know, on top of that, I love the way that the eyepiece works on the helmet, but that giant gun is the thing here. Although I'll say the shield. Also quite a thing. I love the look of a Xeon shield like that. It's very awesome. So guys, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any other questions about this release. I think it's awesome. I love these releases like this, but I have to limit myself on what I get. But I would say that a very tactical, full equipped Zaku 2, I think, is in my my range of things that I would actually buy, considering I already have a lot of robot spirits. So I'm a little picky and choosy on the other ones. That definitely just hit the spot. I feel like for what you can get it for, this is definitely worth it if you're into Zaku 2. So, and I want to thank all the supporters. Please like this video if you thought it was cool, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We'll talk later.